So let me quickly take you through some of the key takeaways of this interaction. And before the interaction, that big announcement made by Donald Trump on reciprocal tariffs. Now, how does this impact India? There will certainly be an impact on India. Donald Trump said, we'll charge as much as they charge us. He also said, Modi is tougher and a better negotiator than I. Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised the issue of illegal immigrants and the need to crack down on that wider ecosystem that sends in these illegal immigrants, whether it's in India or in the United States of America or elsewhere. And Vikram Misri, the Foreign Secretary, gave details how, if need be, intelligence agencies and enforcement agencies of both the countries need to be roped in. So the Prime Minister said, yes, India will take back the verified Indian illegals. He sought Trump's help to combat this human trafficking. There was a question that was put to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and to the US President on the case against Gautam Adani during the previous regime. The Prime Minister made one thing very clear. When the head of state and government of India and the United States of America meet, while everyone is discussed, they do not discuss individual cases as heads of state and government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the Russia-Ukraine war, when a question was put to him, made it very clear, India is not neutral. India is on the side of peace. And that's the point he'd made in his interaction both with the Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And he's interacted with both in Moscow and in Kiev. Then, a very significant takeaway from this meeting is 26/11 Mumbai terror attack plotter, Pakistani national living in Canada, Captain Tahawar Hussain Rana of the Pakistan Army, who was living in Canada, who gave a cover to David Coleman Headley to set up an immigration office in Mumbai and traveled to India to carry out reconnaissance, not just in Mumbai, but also in Pune and in Delhi. And their aim, David Coleman Headley and Tahawar Hussain Rana, their aim was to target the National Defence College. And as Headley put it, instead of killing one brigadier at the LOC, his aim was to kill a busload of brigadiers in the national capital. These were his words during his interrogation in the Headley trial at the Chicago courthouse. I was present there. I've covered that trial. That was the evil plan of Pakistani state-sponsored radical Islamic terror. And this is what India and the United States have decided today. Together, India and the United States will crack down on radical Islamic terror. Let me take you through some of the key takeaways. That man, Captain Tahawar Hussain Rana of Pakistan Army, who was living in Canada, he is to be extradited to India. The US President has cleared it. Then there is a call to address trade and tariff disparities. There is a team that will work on it, and they will try and have a trade agreement by fall in the next 7 to 8 months. Both countries want a level playing field in trade. The American president also offered the F-35, America's latest stealth fighters, to India. It's an offer. But as Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri specified, that a request for proposal there's a process. There has to be an RFP, then negotiations start. So that's a long way off. It's an offer. We'll explain that in greater detail, because the F-35 is a system. It's a weapons platform. You can't just buy the aircraft. It comes with a lot of systems, and India operates a lot of aircraft that are Russian-made, French-made. There are missile systems that are Russian. So can all of this be integrated? We will talk about that in greater detail. But a very important point, India and the United States of America will together counter radical Islamic terror. There's also cooperation on artificial intelligence. That is going to be defining even at the AI Action Summit in France and the next summit that's to be held in India. AI was one of the top focus areas. The aim between India and the United States is to take bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030. Jointly working on a trade corridor. Remember, during India's G20 presidency, the conversation was, and the big game changer idea was IMEC, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. President Trump said that corridor from India to Israel. Of course, it goes through the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, then Italy, goes to the European corridor, then across the Atlantic Ocean to the east coast of the United States of America. That's an absolute game changer. There is investment that's coming in from every country, from India to the United Arab Emirates, to Saudi Arabia, to Israel. It's the Haifa port, and I've reported from that Haifa port. It's very significant to this, to Italy, across Europe, and then to the United States of America. That is a key result area. New consulates will come up both in Los Angeles and in Boston. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also invited US President Donald Trump to visit India. He is to come to India for the Quad Summit. India is hosting the 2025 Quad Summit. So President Trump recalled not just Howdy Modi at Houston, Texas, but he also recalled coming to the Narendra Modi Stadium at Motera, Ahmedabad. And he said he hadn't seen crowds like that. More than 120,000 people were in the audience as Donald Trump addressed people in India and spoke of this being a game-changing relationship.